Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is another episode of Reforge Gaming talking about Hogwarts and other titles potentially getting some Sony exclusive treatment. Not that they are Sony exclusives. We know that's not the case, but they may be getting some of that sweet Sony exclusivity, whether it's items, maps, early releases. We're going to be breaking down the report right here at the beginning of the stream. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell button. Don't forget to check your subscription feed and my channel every day. We're streaming multiple streams a day. Sometimes I'm not in your recommended feed or your homepage, so be sure to check those things out. And we try to give you all the good information right here at the beginning. If you're watching on TikTok, be sure to chime in and say something. We're trying to stream in both places, both on YouTube and TikTok. We bring gaming news and discussion every day. Glad to see you and hope you enjoy the show. This is a Reforge update. Hogwarts Legacy and Avatar may be getting PlayStation exclusive content according to a recent meeting at Sony. What does this mean for these titles as well as next year? As always, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my quick uploads, and check out Reforge Gaming if you want to watch my live streams. So Games Radar had the following to say. During its latest corporate strategy meeting, Sony took a moment to highlight its relationship with its third-party developers, potentially hinting at new partnerships still to come. Quote, "As a provider of this business, we value our relationship with third-party studios," the company's chief executive officer, Kenichiro Yoshida, said on stage. So he's essentially saying, listen, we value third-party relationships. We do know, historically speaking, Sony is a little bit more known for their first-party presence and their first-party investment, but this presentation had a ton of third-party games behind them that are looking pretty big and pretty promising. What did they actually show? So visible on the screen behind them were the logos of a number of third-party games. This list included timed PS5 console exclusives such as Deathloop and Final Fantasy 16. So keep that in mind, that these were timed exclusives and they're up on the board, as well as games with Sony marketing deals like GTA 5. And those were bonus content offered on PlayStation. So that was also the case with NBA 2K22, having that bonus content. But the presence of other games is making people speculate. FIFA, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and Hogwarts Legacy are up there. So you're seeing games that had timed exclusivity, they had bonus content, they're up on the board, and there with them are some pretty big titles that are anticipated, especially Hogwarts being linked to the Harry Potter universe. Lots of people are looking forward to that game, as well as the Avatar game. Anything that's linked to a very large movie success is going to get a lot of attention. There's already been some clues as well, I think, surrounding Hogwarts especially, so according to the report that we have here from Games Radar. While it's highly unlikely that any of them will be exclusive to PlayStation, that's pretty much been confirmed that they won't be, Sony may have some sort of extra content planned for these games, or potentially an advertising arrangement in place. Hogwarts Legacy has already seen a lot of love from Sony, with the company announcing the title at a PlayStation event and treating us to an exclusive look at gameplay during a dedicated state of play. This is the type of stuff you're going to see ahead of time. You're going to see that exclusive treatment. You're going to see those sorts of special deals. When I went to the Destiny 2 premiere in California, everything had PlayStation Pro on it, optimized for PlayStation Pro, the lanyards, the signs, everything, and that led to timed exclusivity of maps, guns, and everything else for that video game. Like, Sony does this. They sort of lay the groundwork ahead of time. They're blazoned on the trailers, they house the trailers, they get to debut the gameplay, and putting something into a state of play and in this presentation, I think, are pretty big indicators we may be seeing some exclusive treatment for Hogwarts Legacy. Avatar will be launching by March of next year, and Hogwarts is still slated for a fourth quarter launch in 2022, so both of those games would be landing at least in somewhat close succession, with plenty of time to ramp up the marketing and get those Sony exclusives announced for pre-orders or whatever the case may be. I don't know if this affects your view of a game. Does this make you want to buy a game or not, or stay away from a game? The console wars are turning into gobbling up actual IPs and developers, but it seems like we still might see some of that old playbook where PlayStation throws a bunch of money at a company and says, hey, let us have some exclusive treatment, let's throw some extra content in there. Same could be said for Ubisoft Classics. It remains to be seen if Ubisoft Classics will be landing on Game Pass or the Microsoft platform. As always, let us know what you think in the comments below. Hit like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Somebody says, dude, you should do radio. I basically do radio every day. It's like video game radio, and we do it on YouTube and TikTok. We spiked up to like 60 or 70 some viewers over there on TikTok, so I wanted to address them and say, hey, welcome in, thank you so much. And that it didn't last. People over there maybe aren't looking for this kind of content. We'll see. We'll continue simulcasting in both locations. We offer, I think, a pretty good camera quality and audio quality over there that you don't see very often. So good morning to everybody else. Hex, good to see you. Behemoth, J Murph, Chris, and Derek says console exclusive content, even just skins for multi-system games, has always rubbed me the wrong way. I guess it's cool when you get an on-brand only thing, but it means nobody gets the full game. I tend to agree with you. I don't like when this sort of thing happens. I feel like it's an old playbook, as I said in the open. I don't think this is a commonly seen strategy anymore. This is something that is less and less common. I think it's less and less common because it's expensive and it just irritates people. Like, you're spending all this money. It's not as though you're not going to sell a ton of Hogwarts on your PlayStation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you really need to give some fat check to PlayStation in order to procure, I don't know, maps or skins or something? Is that necessarily going to be, helpful? Or are you sort of throwing money away at that point? Like, I don't know. Again, I think Sony likes to flex. I think they like to flex that exclusivity. So we'll see what exactly they want to do with this. God of War Ragnarok accessibility features revealed. Sony Santa Monica details customizable subtitles, audio cues, high contrast mode, and more. Full story 15 minutes ago. We may cover that this afternoon on Reforge Radio. Don't forget that in the afternoons we head over to Reforge Radio, and it enables us to cover virtually all gaming news. That way nothing sort of gets left out. So if you're in our Discord, be sure to throw those stories in there for us. Go through your morning ritual this morning, switch to live chat, smash the like button, and let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think this is going to be a thing? Let me know what you think in the chat. I mean, is this going to be a problem? Good morning, Uncle Brada. Good to see you over there. Finally, a good color shirt. Yeah, we're rocking a Centipede shirt today. I went a little less bright with the camera lighting settings because with the white shirt, I didn't want to be like freaking glowing like a beacon. Good morning, Feed. Good to see you in the chat. I've never liked exclusivity. Just give the content for preview order purchase. I agree with that. Ink Sanity starting us off with a 12-month milestone, says get the day started right. Ink Sanity sent me a DM this morning. He said that we're seeing the gifted members rolling out across more channels, hoping that we would get it today. We haven't gotten it yet. So help us hit that member goal without the member gifted initiative, without the member gifted beta. If you're not a member right now, help us hit that goal. Hit the join button or type !join in the chat. Be the first new member or the first new coffee order of the day. Thanks so much for being here. Again, make sure you are on live chat. You might not see everybody's chat if you don't do that, and then smash that like button. Thank you everybody over there on TikTok for smashing the likes as well. Good to see you guys. I am curious what you guys see here. Big Mad Mo says, no exclusivity. So Mo, I'm curious then, what do you think of the fact that they showcase the gameplay at a Sony State of Play? What do you think about the fact that they have Avatar and Hogwarts up on the screen behind them alongside of games like Deathloop that they had timed exclusivity with, like GTA that they had exclusive content with? They're basically grouping it with third parties that they've brokered deals with, along with FIFA, along with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Like, is this going to be the next batch of third-party deals that Sony has already procured? I'm here at the start for once. I think the platform war will continue for now, says Sean. It's all about being the store where you buy now rather than just being the box that you play on. They showed it because Sony probably has the marketing rights, just like Xbox has the marketing rights for stuff that isn't exclusive. Okay, so ignore that then, Cliff. Ignore that. What about this presentation? So Sony's got this thing behind them. They've got Deathloop up there, GTA. Let's see, what else did they put up there? It was, NBA 2K2. So GTA 5, there was bonus content offered on PlayStation along with NBA 2K22. And they've got those games up there. They also had Deathloop and Final Fantasy 16, which had timed exclusivity on Sony. So alongside of all these games, they either had bonus content with or timed exclusivity with, they have Avatar, Hogwarts, and FIFA. I don't really care about talking about FIFA, but Hogwarts and Avatar, these are big games. These are big titles. These are massive, massive audiences potentially buying, and Sony may have swooped in and said, listen, we want to have some exclusive content with you. We want to have timed exclusivity or something to that effect. Sony has a history of making third-party game marketing rights look like first-party exclusives. They do. Sane says, we can agree there's no way it will be timed exclusive. We agree on that. I think timed exclusivity is off the table, Sane. I agree with you on that front, right? I agree with you on that. There will not be timed exclusivity. I believe that Hogwarts will be launching on every platform same exact day. I'm thinking exclusive content. Because if you think about Hogwarts and if you think about Avatar, there's going to be customization, skins, options, things like that. And I could see them saying, pre-order now on the PlayStation and get this outfit. Pre-order, Avatar and get this skin, get this whatever. When is Hogwarts launching? I don't know. Do we have an official Hogwarts Legacy release date? I feel like there is a release date. No, just 2022. It's slated for fourth quarter of 2022. I said that in the open just to be careful. I don't think there's a hard launch date just yet. I am of the opinion that Hogwarts isn't launching this year. I actually think it's going to get bumped into next year. I think fourth quarter is very perilous right now, and so many. I actually think Forspoken's in danger as well. Now, there's good reason to think that Forspoken will launch this year because the delay was for quote-unquote polish and not for other reasons. And so one delay is kind of the pattern. Get delayed once and then launch is sort of the pattern right now. We're going to be talking in our second show today about the Xbox exclusive horror game called Scorn. That launch date and gameplay, we've got some details for you, so make sure you're here for the second show as well. Wouldn't having Sony Microsoft characters or outfits appear across platforms be an easy way to reach across the aisle? Am I wrong to think that Fortnite does this already? So back when Sony was pushing against crossplay in Fortnite, Derek, that was an argument that I made. I said, why would you not work with Epic? Why would you not have like Kratos skins or Aloy skins in Fortnite? And here we sit, that's happened. So I actually think Sony is more open to their property being elsewhere. I think they're more open to working with platforms or games that can potentially appear in other places. But I don't necessarily think that means that Sony is against saying, we've got this skin just over here, pre-order here and get this skin here. I don't think Sony's against continuing to do that. Hogwarts Legacy has already been delayed once. Lono is supposed to come out in 2021, so hopefully no more delays. There are two types of delays that continue to happen. There's two. There is the one delay, and then we're good, and then there's the multiple delays. So the multiple delays continues to be, I think, a pattern that you can't overlook. That's why I think fourth quarter is still pretty precarious, still pretty uncertain. Exclusive like content and items? Yes, Eugene. So my theory goes as follows. During a Sony presentation up on this thing behind them, when they were stressing that they value their relationship with third-party studios, they showed Deathloop and Final Fantasy, which were timed exclusives to the platform. They also showed GTA 5 and NBA 2K22, which were games that had bonus content only on PlayStation. Alongside of those games, they showed FIFA, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and Hogwarts Legacy. My contention is the reason that Avatar and Hogwarts were shown, especially how much marketing love Sony has given and gotten for Hogwarts, I think there will be exclusive content in Hogwarts Legacy on the PlayStation platform. That's the theory that I'm going with. Yes, they also showed Avatar, so I believe that both of these titles were listed with these other titles because there is essentially either timed exclusivity either timed exclusivity or items themselves. That's the theory. The reason we put Hogwarts Legacy PlayStation exclusives plural on the thumbnails because we're not thinking it's a PlayStation exclusive. We know that's not true. We're thinking there'll be exclusives. There'll be like exclusive items, exclusive cosmetics, access, early access, whatever. That's what we have been theorizing. Hogwarts should try to release in the holiday season as no other big games are coming in 2022 for Xbox and PC, and they'll make bank. I think Harry Potter is just a great Christmas game. It'd be such a great Christmas, snowy, winter season game. It has that vibe. It does. It has that vibe. It does. I'm thinking about Gathering Night. I don't know what that is. I'm okay with that. Let PlayStation get special wands or capes or something, but not extra playable content like bosses or locations. Yeah, I wonder. Oh, you're thinking about Gotham Knights. Oh my, yeah, Gotham Knights. What a disaster that game's probably going to be. $70 for what looks like a glorified mobile game. That game's in trouble. I think it's in trouble. I think that game's in serious trouble. Probably another delay on the way. I don't know. They did something. Somebody somewhere made a mistake. If you're just tuning in, we are discussing and debating whether or not Hogwarts Legacy will be getting PlayStation exclusives, content, cosmetics, early access. They were included in a presentation along with Avatar and FIFA, put up there alongside of other games and third-party studios that Sony has good relationships with. And we are theorizing that means there could be exclusive content for them. Hogwarts, I'm curious how many people, Hogwarts Legacy, will you be playing it? Regardless of any of this, I don't care to debate whether or not it's going to happen. I think the theory's pretty solid. Hogwarts Legacy, will you be playing it? I want to see how many people are going to be playing this game. Delay, they need to start it again, says Hilly, for sure. Jolly good show. Thank you, Lufi. It looks bad, but at least people will get to try it. Yeah, for sure. I'm here somewhat early today. Yo, what's good, Shervier? I definitely don't want another delay, says Sorcerer, but I'd rather have it delayed again and come out fully complete and be an awesome game. I've seen the future, Captain. There are no consoles. That's right. That's right. Excuse me. I had one of those things where, like, every time I would clear my throat, I would, like, get, like, a mini hiccup. So I could not effectively clear my throat. It's my Friday, 3-day weekend. Here I come. Enjoy it, Myrtle Turtle. Good morning, Darth Nihilus. Eugene says, I'll probably try Hogwarts just because. I definitely want to try it out. Hope it's good. Still wait a few days for reviews before purchasing. Hilly says, nope, I think Hogwarts Legacy looks boring to play from what I can make of it. Here's the thing. I think Hogwarts Legacy is going to be a smash hit, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm actually drinking dark roast this morning. Who's going to be the first member to join today, and who's going to be the first coffee order? If you've never become a member on YouTube, click the join button or type !join in the chat. Don't forget the shirts I'm wearing are always from 80s Tees. This awesome giant print of Centipede is available from the 80s video game collection, so you can always use that shirt command as well. So here's why I think Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy is going to be an absolute smash hit. The fans are going to like it, like, no matter what. You know what I mean? No matter what. Yo, what's good, Sean? I scrolled down. It flipped the stupid iPad again today on me. I went to scroll like the chat on the iPad in TikTok, and it flips everything over. So now I can't see anything anybody said. I saw Sean and some other people talk, and I don't get it. I scrolled down, and chick's holding a pickle, and she's got 300 viewers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the viewership on TikTok definitely gravitates towards certain types of streams, that's for sure. No, Aaron, right. There is no release date. There is no release date for Hogwarts Legacy. All we know is they're targeting fourth quarter 2022. I happen to think it's not coming this year. I believe over the summer, if we don't get a release date over the summer for Hogwarts, like if there's a state of play or there's Summer Games Fest, there's all these things happening. If we don't have a release date by the end of the summer, I think it's getting delayed. I think we'll come out of the summer and they'll say, sadly, they regret that, that they have to push it to March or whatever. I think next year we're going to have another February-March situation on our hands. I think February and March are going to be, they're just going to dump a bunch of big games in that time frame. I think it's going to happen again. It's already happening. I've seen at least 2 or 3 games do 2 things. They delay and they drop old gen. Are you seeing the pattern? The pattern is games are getting delayed and they're dropping old gen. There's a variety of reasons for this. But I think it's going to continue to happen. Harry Potter fans will not care about the combat. They care about the open world exploration the most, which looked great. Harry Potter fans will love Hogwarts Legacy for a very simple reason. They get to walk around and explore Hogwarts. Think about the replay value. Think about the replay value of being able to choose 4 different houses, start over, have all those early experiences, and just walking around. I mean, I'm telling you, Harry Potter fans are going to absolutely love this game. This game will struggle to make mistakes for those people. I think it will. I think it'll struggle to make mistakes for them. Now, those of you looking for like an action-adventure game or like an RPG, you're probably going to play the game, but like, I don't know. Now, I will say, I was iffy on the combat, okay? I was iffy on the combat, and then I felt they won me over time. Over time in the trailer, I started to see things where I was like, okay, this might actually work. It'll get pretty unidimensional, I think. I just think there's only so much you can do with wands. There's only so much you can do with, knocking somebody back, stunning somebody, or whatever. I think there's only so much they can do within the world of Harry Potter to make the combat interesting. Like, you're not going to be busting out a sword and shield and chopping people up. You're going to be flipping, dodging, rolling, and, saying Expelliarmus or whatever, however, asparagus. It's not that it's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be bad. I just don't think it's going to have a lot of depth. I'm happy to be proved wrong by that. I would be thrilled to have that proved wrong. But I don't think that's a problem. I think the game can be massively successful, popular, well-received by having pretty basic combat. I don't think the combat needs to be the centerpiece. I think if they can create a beautiful world, I mean, look at the just right there. Just right there, some of the character design. I think the character design, shows promise. I think some of the times, holy moly, this is from when we were on radio. I'm huge. I do. I think the game shows promise. Let's switch back to green here because we're on gaming. I think it shows a lot of promise. I do. The way that they've built the world and the mystery and just that right there, I think is enough for so many people. Just being able to go to the school and walk around the halls. I think as far as environmental designs, they've crushed it. They've absolutely crushed it. I've not seen a single thing with respect to the environments that makes me think the game isn't going to be just an absolute joy to explore. And even there, just the intricacy in the armor design. I think they've done good things. I think sometimes the characters' faces can look a little funky. I think human faces are a challenge. But I'm telling you, I think the game will be a smash hit for so many people. It's not actually that bad. The faces are not that bad. I just think the human faces are one of the few types of faces in games these days that they're a bit of a challenge, I think, sometimes to look genuine and real and not look kind of funky or weird, Is there armor in the game? I don't know. The guy just walked up and had like armor on, and the intricacy in the design looked really, really good, I felt. I'm huge and no giddy disappointed. What? The game is basically the letter to Hogwarts people wanted. The game is basically the letter to Hogwarts? What's letter to Hogwarts? I'm sure it'll be a hit. Harry Potter has a fan base, but I'll pass, says Aaron Wright. Hogwarts looks like it'll be getting buried in cinematics and animations to open things to hide the fact that the gameplay loop is standing and clicking a wand button. I don't know if that's true. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the chat from what you've seen of Hogwarts Legacy combat. I think it looks fine. And obviously here they're like training, so there's nothing significant that's going to happen in this scene. But later on when he's fighting like multiple targets, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's going to feel similar. I think it's going to feel similar to Control combat. Grabbing things, throwing things, sort of holding a position. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to like levitate and fly or anything like that. Like Control definitely had that aspect, as well, that you were able to kind of zip around and do different things. But I don't know. Every time the combat comes up, I'll try and show it to you guys to get what you guys think. Get what you guys think. You get a letter that gives you acceptance to the school. The letter the students get. Oh, the letter to come to Hogwarts. That's what you meant. I know, I've seen the movies. I understand that reference. I didn't connect that you were making that reference. I thought you were referring to something else. Because, it's a love letter to fans, things like that. Like, that's another colloquialism that, people will say. It's fan service. I wish they did this in VR. I'm not surprised at all that you brought up VR, Butters. Swinging around the room, going abracadabra, and just eliminating wizards. Oh my, he said abracadabra, chat. Harry Potter fans get him. I could see a companion game, though, for VR like they did with Horizon, Butters. Although, what's the launch date on that? All that's been, I haven't seen a word or a blip about that ever since that one trailer. There's tons of potential for the combat. Hope that they execute it properly and it works on release, says Survivor Dan. I actually think that the combat has potential. I was really iffy on the combat, and then I watched this trailer a number of times with people, and I said that I felt like I felt like Hogwarts Legacy gameplay looked weird, is what I put on the thumbnail. And then I watched it a little bit more, and I started to feel like, okay, like right here, you can see this. Like I said, there's elements of this that reminds me of Control, like this walk up here and the bridge slowly building, and clearly some kind of a fight that's probably awaiting the main player there. Avada Kedavra. Yeah, like somebody help out our man Butters, our VR fanboy Butters. I'd like to take a darker path possible to become a dark wizard. Yeah, are they going to let you do that, Pennywise? Are they going to let you take a dark path? Is that going to be a possibility? Yeah, I saw that. I've not looked at that, Eugene. We'll look at that on we'll look at that on Reforge Radio. We'll look at that on Reforge Radio this afternoon. We do multiple shows a day. So today we're talking Hogwarts Legacy. Is it getting PlayStation exclusive treatment? That's my theory. I want to know if you're considering buying it or playing it. Right here, we're going to look at the combat because people have been debating what the combat will feel like. And my contention is the combat has a lot of potential. The second show today, we will be talking about Scorn, the Xbox exclusive horror game that has had its release date and gameplay discussed. We've got updates about the release date and the gameplay for the second show. We may get back into V Rising for some gameplay for our third show. Then we will head over to Reforge Radio, and there is more news coming out about Reforge Radio, and we've got a ton to talk about over there. We've got brand new information about Ragnarok. That is good that we've got that. Continuing to push that there is a very, very probably locked in launch date at this point. What else should we talk about over there today? I think we're gonna make the soft lead that the Ragnarok thing. Let's make that the soft lead. Radio topics, lead, God of War, Ragnarok, accessibility blog. That's going to be our soft lead over there, so we'll discuss that. Not enough gore either. Here, we got some more combat to showcase. I, for one, I want to know what you think, chat. What do you think of the combat in Hogwarts Legacy gameplay? Does it look like it's going to be too unidimensional? Is it going to be boring? So here he's fighting just something fairly large. Couple of things there, and then he stuns him and doesn't get out of the way. So here we got multi-target, and obviously they're all kind of taking it easy on him, but he does get hit a few times and then kind of bound up here. He starts to perform better in some of these other fights. He starts to get a little bit better rhythm. So then you have the option to throw stuff. This is when it starts to remind me a little bit of Control. So holding position but being able to grab projectiles. Saw that guy coming from the right, took care of him so he could focus on the guy directly in front of him. You see there on the left, On the left, the box has R1 on it, so he could grab that box all the way to the left if he wanted, and just performing combos. And the rolling, I think the rolling looks like nice. I wonder sometimes if slowdown will get old, although the perfect dodge slowdown in Spider-Man never got old. Bit of a speed there, grabs the sword, throws the sword, grabs that guy, whoops him up, then he can throw the barrel at this guy, blows them both up. Yeah, the more I watch this, I actually think the combat's going to be really satisfying. I think there will be a simplicity to it. I do think there will be a unidimensional nature to it, but I think it'll be satisfying. That's okay. So the dodge slow-mo, the rush forward, and then the lightning cast, and he's going to pull this guy down from up top because he doesn't want to be getting hit with crossbows. Yeah, I actually think this is going to be a really enjoyable little content loop. There's too much downtime. Some of that I wonder, though, Eugene, is if it's because it's a trailer. I wonder if there's downtime because they're just really trying to show off. They're really just trying to show off all the different things that you can do. I think sometimes in trailers, they like to slow things down so that you can really see everything that's going on. The enemies are just standing and watching. Yeah, I think in games like this, they do that, though. They do that in Batman games, Assassin's Creed games. They like to show off the combat, and they like to make it look like, oh, here's all the different things you're going to be able to do. Look how awesome you're going to be. Look how awesome you're going to look. And it's mainly just to drive, visibility. You know what I mean? I think the combat looks better. The more I watch it, the more I'm sold on it. When I initially looked at the combat, I thought, I don't know. I thought the same thing Eugene was like, this is slow standing around. But the more I've watched it, the better I think I feel. I feel like when articles like this write about me, they use it as an opportunity to write what they want me to say, not what I actually say. Also, Kotaku, this has nothing to do with the fact that I am black. What's this guy tweeting about? What's this guy tweeting about? I can't see I can't see his tweet. Twitter's been acting insane today. I can't see the tweet. It's like taking me to some weird thing where I can click show replies. Twitter is having an absolute conniption. I can't even go to my main page feed. Combat looks good if you're into swishing around a wand. Zubair says, how is Lono going to do a melee-only run with this? Hey, guys, we're going to be doing a non-magic run in this game. It's going to be great. Look at these monsters. Look at the monsters. He's a little bit more combat here. Just a little bit more combat. A blast. He's got a screaming potato. Puts that back away. Screaming Potato is a great username for those of you that are raging out and bad at video games. So, Zubair or anybody else, shoe fits. Yo, good morning, Pit Viper. I missed the first 20 minutes of the stream because I'm too important at my job to my detriment. What are people's critiques of the game so far? Because the gameplay looked good to me. Well, the main subject this morning, Distorted, is Hogwarts Legacy. Will it be receiving PlayStation exclusive treatment? It will not be exclusive to PlayStation. We know that, but Hogwarts Legacy and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora were included in a Sony presentation, along with Deathloop and Final Fantasy 16, which both saw timed exclusives on PlayStation. We also saw up on the board GTA 5 and NBA 2K22, which had bonus content offered on PlayStation. So up on this same board, we saw FIFA, Avatar, and Hogwarts Legacy. I am theorizing that Hogwarts Legacy will be getting PlayStation exclusive treatment to some degree. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm arguing that we're going to see that happen. Also, you got to consider Sony State of Play had all that Hogwarts Legacy gameplay, which brought us to discuss the gameplay, the combat, what do people think, are you going to buy it? Hilly says it just looks like you're standing around waving a wand and it looks awkward. Eugene thinks there's too much downtime. I thought that, but the more I've watched the combat, the more interested I've become. A Black Dev says it's highly probable. Doctor Strange sequel fight. What? I'm not clicking on a Kotaku article. I put the article in the news channel. Yeah, I don't want to click on that right now. Definitely can see things like unique cosmetics for PS Plus users or something like that, says Eugene. Flying is so hard to get right, though. What games do it well? Flying was actually, I'm not kidding you, flying was surprisingly very good in Anthem. It was very good in Anthem. What are some other games that have gotten flying right? I actually thought the flying in Horizon Forbidden West was more cinematic than good. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't like excellent. It was just like, okay, this is pretty cinematic. Doesn't matter. Lono's right. All of us fans are going to buy it. Yeah, Anthem to date is one of the games that I thought had the absolute best flying. Like, every time I think about that game, it just makes me really, 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 really want an Iron Man game. Because of the one javelin in Anthem just flew so incredibly well. I know Anthem. I couldn't think of anything else. MS Flight Sim. But that's a flight sim. Like, who wants to feel like they're flying a real plane? I remember enjoying it, but I can't imagine going back. Right here, this is where I see PlayStation getting its exclusives with these types of things. So many cosmetics. I see this being where the exclusivity hits for Hogwarts Legacy. I see Hogwarts Legacy getting exclusive treatment on the Sony PlayStation with the cosmetics. That's what I think you're going to see. If they release Quidditch with the game or in a DLC, it'll be crazy. Discord muted? Oh, gosh. Sorry, Discord. You're the first one to notice. Imagine an Iron Man game using Control's engine. Oh, gosh, it'd be so good, would it not? It'd be so good. Somebody's saying Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse did flying really, really well. Super Mario 3 nailed flying. Yeah, I mean, the flying in this looks pretty... it looks pretty rigid. That looks pretty on rails. I don't know. I mean, it is a broom. It's not exactly like Superman or Iron Man or something. It is a broom, for crying out loud. I just keep crashing the plane on my house in Microsoft Flight Sim. If they release Quidditch with the game in a DLC, it'll sell. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the Quidditch line. I do. I think, number one, I think Hogwarts Legacy will be one of the biggest selling games of the year, without question. The Harry Potter fans are going to just flock to it. I don't think the J.K. Rowling drama will affect this game at all. You know, you'll have a couple of streamers and YouTubers get all self-righteous. You know, maybe Bungie will write a blog. But other than that, I don't think this game will struggle at all in the realm of commercial success. I think it'll absolutely just dominate as far as sales go. Looks like a sparrow can fly vertically as well as horizontally. Yeah, Anthem, rest in peace, is a standard for open world traversal. They didn't get a lot right, but they nailed movements. This flying rate here, I don't know. This could be good. That could be good. I don't know how often you're going to get to do that, though. That could have been a freaking cutscene. They'll have to nail flying if they're going to release Quidditch. That's why I think it may come in a DLC. You know what they could do with this game that would be absolutely stellar with Quidditch? Is release it like they did Legends in Ghost of Tsushima and release it as like a side self-contained thing. And if you release it as this side self-contained thing, then you can sell it separate later for people that are like, well, I don't really want to play through the RPG, but I'll drop $20 on some Quidditch. You know what I'm saying? That, I think, is the 900 IQ play for Hogwarts Legacy, is release the main game, make a junk ton of money, add Quidditch for free into the game for people that bought the game, and then sell it separately for like $20. Way too complex. Don't count me on me to emergency land a plane. Yeah, there's one thing I felt like playing in Flight Sim. I felt as if all these movies where they show somebody landing a plane, I'm like, yeah, that totally wouldn't happen. They would just wreck. It's nothing, says Barrier. Kotaku twisted the guy's words, and then he spoke out on it. He's developing a really cool game with music-based combat. We never played No Straight Roads. I thought that had music-based combat as well. I'm kind of sad that we missed that one. I think I interviewed them at E3. Add multiplayer to Hogwarts. Oh, like being able to go around together in the main game. Mo says leave it in the game. Leave what in the game? Quidditch? But Quidditch being separate for $20 would do well. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima Legends did really well. It was a great way to let people just get that portion if they wanted. Hogwarts Legacy honestly looks way more in-depth and good than I was expecting it to be, so kudos to them. We covered Hogwarts Legacy gameplay about a month ago, well, maybe 2 months ago, and I when the video released, and I said that I felt that the gameplay looked kind of weird, and I still think there's elements to the combat that might be purely cinematic. Something they do in games like this when they're trying to show off certain elements of the game is they tend to slow everything down. It's like nobody plays a first-person shooter and does that classic, like, very slow pan to see this big, huge open area. Like, nobody does that. You're, like, looking here, you're looking there. And they never do that in the trailers. They never show you, like, actual organic, raw gameplay. That's, like, not a thing. So, if you guys are enjoying the show, do me a favor. Let's try and hit 200 likes before we get through the first hour of the stream. So smash that like button if you're enjoying the show. Consider becoming a member. A membership is $5 a month, but you get 2 extra streams a week. One of those is a stream with my wife, and you can help us make her play Elden Ring if we hit 600 members by the end of this month. We have I think we need 80-something more members, so we're doing well. And we don't even have gifted memberships on the channel. That is coming to YouTube throughout this month, and we don't even have it yet. So, help us with those efforts. And if you haven't tried our coffee yet, our coffee's not a sponsor. It's ours. If you've never tried coffee with balanced acidity, use that coffee command in chat. You could be the first member or coffee order of the day. Thank you so much for being here. We are discussing Hogwarts Legacy, PlayStation exclusive treatment it may get based on a recent Sony presentation. Avatar was also included. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was promised to release along with Skull and Bones and a few other titles by March, the end of March of next year. And there was one more that I'm forgetting the name of. I can't remember the name of it. It's like they listed it, but they didn't list the main name. They listed like the subtitle. Hitting your like button is the first thing I do. Thank you so much for doing that, Captain Morgan. Sane says the protagonist is in his 5th year at school. Leave the possibility for 2 more sequels as there are 7 years in the Hogwarts curriculum. That'd be a brilliant little trilogy, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? That'd be a brilliant little trilogy if they did that. Hilly says, the trouble I see with the game is if you use Harry Potter IP, the game will be scaled to be easy clap. No way around it, and I think it needs to be a button mash for the target audience to enjoy. I don't disagree with that, Hilly. I don't. I think the game will be very accessible, fun, and easy. I wonder, have they said anything about difficulty options? Because I could see this game having that ability to be like, listen, the average person's going to be able to play it, enjoy it, cast some spells, win some fights, and feel great. But then other people are going to want to up that difficulty. And if they let you do that, then you might have a really good RPG on your hands. You could really increase those challenges for yourself. Problem with the broom flight canonically is the movement is all forward momentum based, not like a javelin that could move more vertical horizontal while hovering. Broom movement would look odd like that. Yeah, I mean, and they even show a guy kind of comes swooping up here. Looks like they even have kind of like mini games that you can play with your wand. And that right there, just a little swoop. Oh, she comes swooping up. I mean, that's just a cinematic, but I don't know if that's any indication of what kind of agility you might have with the broom. If they've built it in a way where they could have Quidditch in the game, that would be tough, I think. Did you see the audio description video for God of War Ragnarok? No, Skiffy. We'll be covering that on Reforge Radio this afternoon. God of War Ragnarok got accessibility options put into a blog post, so that'll be our lead on Reforge Radio. I love being able to do that, by the way. Like, they push out that blog, and I'm like, oh, frick, when are we going to cover that? Oh, we'll cover it this afternoon. We don't have to worry about kicking it to Monday now, because guess what? We have a show for that. We can cover that today. And many people commenting on the combat. The combat, I think, has looked better and better the more I've watched it. And there are, it looks like companions with you at different times. Have they confirmed whether or not there will be co-op in this game? Will you be able to play with another person? Because periodically we do see him fighting with somebody next to him. I think it's just a companion, though. I don't think this game has multiplayer at all. The graphics are quite crispy, says Captain Morgan. I already read that. Vengeance says, can't do multiplayer. The Slytherins and the Gryffindors would outnumber the Ravenclaws and the Hufflepuffs by 67 million. Didn't you hear about the guy that landed the plane with no experience? It was talked down after the pilot passed out. Just happened recently. Well, butter my biscuit. I guess you can land planes with a little bit of help. You know what I mean? No, Zubair, they have not shown any of the UI. They've shown some of the menus, but they've not shown any of the user interface while you're actively playing. So I'm assuming there will be cooldowns. There'll be levels of magic like stamina that you'll run out of. Like, you can't just sit there and spam like crazy. I'm wondering if you will have stamina, because he does, roll around and dodge at times. Again, people worried about the combat. I get why people might be concerned about it, being pretty unidimensional, just kind of like hitting this guy with a couple of spells. I don't know why it lets him run him over, though. Layman landing a plane, the exception that proves the rule. Right. I'm really hoping the school days flow like Bully. How do they do it in Bully, T-Grim? I'm not sure. I'm familiar with that game. T-Grim says, not yet, just companions. They have confirmed no multiplayer, says Sane. My wife and I were talking about that, says Arch Enigma. I think they left themselves room for sure. End of 5th year is when they take the OWL exams to determine career placement, so decisions could matter for sure. Right, you could go into the second game and go through that and like pick your career placement. Not entirely sure the target audience for this will be teens. The first look came out in 97. The first book came out in 97. The first movie came out in 01. The last film launched in 2011. Most franchise fans are in their 20s. That's, Nefitz, I think that's good input. So I definitely don't want to put out this idea that this game is only going to be enjoyed by children, because I definitely think the audience is, as you say, much older now. But I wonder if the audience is going to just want a really fun, casual game. Are they going to want to play a Harry Potter game that's grueling and difficult and challenging? Are they going to want to play like Harry Potter Dark Souls? Are they going to want to just feel cool and walk around Hogwarts and learn spells and knock someone's magic wand out of their hand, right? Like, I think sometimes it's not an age thing, it's a mentality thing. And the people that play this game are potentially going to long for a more casual experience. I don't think that's a terrible prediction to make. If you're just tuning in, we're covering Hogwarts Legacy. Is it going to get PlayStation exclusive treatment? It was included in a presentation. Here is some of the menu system, Zubair. Here's what the menu will look like with the talents and abilities. They were included in a presentation alongside other games that have already gotten exclusive treatment with PlayStation. Deathloop and Final Fantasy 16 had timed exclusivity. GTA 5 and NBA 2K22 both had bonus content on the PlayStation platform. They were all up on the board with Hogwarts Legacy and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and FIFA. I don't really care about FIFA, but I wonder if Hogwarts Legacy and Avatar are going to be getting that exclusivity treatment. Let us know in the chat what you think. You need to be subscribed to let us know what you think. So if you haven't hit subscribe yet, do so. That enables you to type in chat. It supports me. I'm a safe for work broadcaster. We're usually doing a talk show like this Monday through Friday, multiple times a day. Actually, now we do a talk show like this multiple times on multiple channels. So make sure you're subscribed to all my channels. We go to Reforge Radio in the afternoons. That way we can have a more news-focused show. Any gaming news we might have missed. This channel is more about taking a particular topic, discussing it, and debating it for a few hours. The second show today on this channel is about Scorn, an Xbox exclusive, has had some release date update, as well as some gameplay to check out. 5 months from Mick D09. Thank you for hitting your 5-month milestone and renewing. Lurking as always. Thank you, sir. We haven't got any new members today or coffee orders, so that supports what we do. We do not run a lot of advertisements. I know on YouTube you're probably accustomed to seeing advertisements. We don't run a lot during the live shows. That's why we need those memberships. We are trying to hit a big member goal. So consider clicking the join button or typing !join in the chat. $5 a month gets you a badge in chat, emotes you can use, as well as access to my exclusive content. Some of that is on Friday nights with my wife. And if we hit the member goal, you will be... There is more flying. There's more flying right here. Okay, so he hops on and he goes for a little flight here. Let's get a little look at the flying. And the coffee's not a sponsor. So if you're a coffee drinker and you've never tried coffee before with balanced acidity, be sure to try ours out at least once. You got to, at least one time. Yeah, it'll look a little... it's looking a little stiff. I mean, I don't know what you expect from flying around on a broom. I think the broom is like mainly to get from point A to point B. Yo, what's good, Night Fury? Normally part of your VOD pod squad. Just want to say hello, give a daily rose. Great show. Thank you, Night Fury. I appreciate that very, very much. I saw another stream where they started rolling out gifted subs. Yeah, we really need gifted members. We don't presently have gifted memberships, and hoping that we get that. Ink Sanity said he saw somebody get it today as well. Is this an open world? It looks like it's going to be quasi-open world, yes. That looked like gameplay to me. Yeah, I think that was gameplay. I think that was just him traversing from one place to another. As long as the broom feels good, I'm going to be a happy camper, says Alexander. Noberto says, I feel like Fallen Order knocked it out with the difficulty scaling. If they can give us a similar playstyle in Hogwarts, it'll be perfect. Feel like an awesome wizard or give yourself a challenge. Exactly. I'm not sure Rowling described it, but I imagine it would follow the model that the UK schools follow in real life. She modeled quite a bit of her wizarding world on real English society. McWaffle says, how close are we to Madam playing Elden Ring? We need about 80 more members. We got into the low 500s, which is awesome. So we need about 80 more. Streamer that I mod for who moved to YouTube and is half the subs of Lono got it without notice. Yeah, I think they're just rolling it out. I do think our one channel not being a branded channel and ruining redirect. We fixed that, by the way. I fixed that. That may open us up for the possibility. There was a time where we weren't getting any of the new features, and I think that's why. And we got redirected we fixed it on our own. So, to be fair, flying was a bit stiff in the movies. People were just sitting on a broom in a green screen room. Yeah, this is another element of the game. That gives us a little bit of a look at the UI. It looks like you're going to be able to invest in something that is yours, a cottage. This could have, this could influence the second game if there is one. This could influence the second game. You actually have an area that is your own. Here's more potential flight beyond the broom. Flying on a griffin, and Hogsmeade Station is somewhere you can go. That is not on the grounds of Hogwarts. So it does look like they will be giving you more traversal options other than just the broom. So we'll have to see what the flying looks like for that. That was very brief. Your first broom will be one straight out of the closet, super janky flight. Then you get Nimbus. I'm sure you'll be given the janitor's broom at first, says Captain Morgan. Oh, we have Harry Potter nerds in chat. I love being educated by people who enjoy something that, like, I enjoy casually. You need to rebrand as AAA Reforge Gaming. Get the first spot in line for new features. Yeah. Yay. Welcome to AAA Reforge Gaming. Other than Fable, this is my number one anticipated game, says Talika. If it wasn't coming to PC, I would buy a PS5 just to play this. Do you guys think I'm right? Is Hogwarts Legacy getting PlayStation exclusive treatment? Like, you think that's going to be a thing? In the movies, Harry was pretty nimble and fluid on the broom at times. I feel if they wanted, they could have fluid flying mechanics. Neffet says, I agree. I'm a fan of the books, and I'm in my late 30s with 3 kids, and I would totally try this game to play casually with my kids as they get introduced to the franchise. I think a lot of people are going to be like that. They're going to say, man, I grew up playing this game. I can't wait to play this game. Still hear that there are no plans for multiplayer at launch. Such a missed opportunity. I wonder if the reason there's almost always in the combat sequences, this is actually a good example right here, though, of why combat would be tough for multiple players. There's going to be cramped areas it's just going to get a little too much. A lot of the times he's had a companion with him, but right here, look at the size of this room as he spins. You get into like a dungeon crawl feel, and I think it's going to be really, really tough to have co-op. You're just going to be stepping on each other's toes. You're just going to be getting in each other's way. If they built the game, one of the things that happens with like action-adventure RPGs is they build so much of the game around like one person experiencing everything. And when you suddenly shove another person in there, it can really, really mess with stuff. I think it can. Returnal rather brilliantly added co-op, but I still think it takes the right game. Dueling a player outside of Hogwarts would have been cool, though. I think there can be multiplayer in the game. I think it'll be its own separate thing, whether it's Quidditch or duels. I don't see it having co-op through the campaign. I don't see that happening. Imagine trying to shoot around your friend in a hallway. I don't think there will be co-op. Yeah, I could see certain aspects of multiplayer showing up, but not actual play through the campaign co-op. I don't see that happening. The first 4 books that are illustrated are really cool. Great to share with your young ones, says Kat. Wait, they've got illustrated versions now, Kat? Are they abridged or are they just illustrated? Because I'm questioning at what point we'll introduce our kids to Harry Potter. We got a long way to go in Redwall. Redwall has been great. I don't know how many total Redwall books there are. 20-something? How many Redwall books are there? How many? 22. We're about halfway. We are in The Legend of Luke, which I think The Legend of Luke is... I want to say it's 11. I want to say The Legend of Luke is 11 in the series. No, it's 12. It's 12. So we have successfully passed the halfway point in Redwall. So it'll be a while before we can dive into Harry Potter. They're graphic novels. A Harry Potter Gauntlet-like game would be fun. Magic Gauntlet. It feel like on PS they could utilize the gyro controls with wand spells. Yeah, maybe the haptic controls. Maybe they've got exclusive haptic feedback for the wand and the spell casting. Yeah. They've already introduced companions, so the possibility for co-op is very low. I agree, says Sane. The illustrated book, a large with big print. It's the full books with some pretty nice illustrations on the pages. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want them to be abridged. I wish it had an online multiplayer, and you could do lessons with real-life players and do adventures and other type of stuff and quests with other players. Harry Potter gameplay looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, says Vig. I see some similarities with Hogwarts Legacy gameplay. Certainly has a sort of... It's not that it's stiff, it's contained. And there's this contained arena style, here's the enemies, fight them, kind of a thing. And I think that Guardians of the Galaxy did that rather well. Hogwarts Legacy will be fun to play at a challenging level, sort of like Fallen Order, if they have difficulty options. I don't know if they do. Companions like Doctor Who companions? No, not like that. If you're just tuning in, we're discussing Hogwarts Legacy. We're wondering if you're wanting to buy it or play it. It's going to be there's a poll at the top of the chat. 290 votes. So cast your vote on that poll. Hogwarts Legacy, will you be playing it? Yes or no? It's about a 70-30 split right now, so pretty heavily in favor. The real question is, will it get PlayStation exclusive treatment? Based on a recent presentation at Sony, it seems very likely Hogwarts and Avatar were both included in the presentation along a bunch of other games that either got timed exclusivity with Sony or exclusive content. So we want to know what you think. Make sure and smash the like button. I love to get 200 likes in that first hour. We only need 11 more likes to hit that milestone as well. We've had a couple of renewed members today, but no brand new members. So if you've never done a membership on YouTube, consider doing that. It does support me directly because we do not run lots of advertisements on live streams. We don't think it would be very conducive to what we do with the live discussion and the back and forth. We did get approved on one of those key sites, so we should be getting game keys more and more now for our First Look channel, which will benefit us over here as well. I actually know what the developer's working on this game. Oh, you know one of the developers. He's very excited. I'm going to give it a shot, but we'll wait until I finally get a PS5. Yo, Jimmy Page, lay it on us. Is there going to be any Sony PlayStation exclusive stuff? Does he know? Could you text him and ask him? Be like, hey, bro, I want to give some inside intel to a YouTuber. Adding extra playable content on Sony might not go well with the fans, but skins and wands, I don't care. Yo, good morning, Fonzo. I think it's going to be more like that. I think it's going to be cosmetics. I think it'll be, outfits, wands, things of that nature. Maybe different flying mounts, Pre-order on the PlayStation to get this unique flying mount and this outfit and this wand or whatever the heck. I could see that being the case. Totally, yeah. One thing, says Derek, I think really doesn't get talked about much is how so many classic games were all about playing together, yet today, other than FPSs, we get almost nothing good. It's weird. I'm going to tell you what's going on, Derek. I'm going to tell you. Graphical advancements are becoming the biggest barrier. They're becoming the biggest barrier. If you want games to look and perform and be awesome, you cannot offer multiplayer. It hinders performance. That's the biggest reason. Split-screen co-op games are amazing, and I want to see more of them. It Takes Two was pretty ambitious if you think about it, because doing a completely co-op game, both online or strictly, split-screen. Oh, we do have confirmation that there is difficulty options. Thank you, Sven. It says here, every swish and flick of your wand matters. A range of difficulty options will be available to meet various skill levels, enabling players to experience the game in a way most enjoyable to them. As a gamer who likes a bit of challenge myself, I'm happy to say that we've been working hard to make sure combat in Hogwarts Legacy has a depth and challenge for players who want it. That's great. That's fantastic news. I'm going to ramp it like all the way the frick up. That's one beauty of becoming a Souls player, is you're like, what's this new game? Oh, is it a Souls game? No. Turn the difficulty all the way up. Unless it's Jedi Fallen Order. That's not a game that you want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that haphazardly. Even online, there are less full-story campaign co-op games. It Takes Two was great, but I feel Forza should have won Game of the Year. Absolutely not. No. Golly, no. Of course I know, but that one game that nobody plays twice. Oh, It Takes Two. You could play It Takes Two twice and switch roles, because you get different weapons and different abilities throughout depending on who you play as, right? Can confirm, not the move. What did I say is not the move? What's not the move? I can't remember what I even said. Need Dead Rising 5, Chuck and Frank co-op in Fortune City. Where did this news come from about the PS exclusives? So we pulled a report from Games Radar, and during a recent corporate strategy meeting, Sony said that as a provider of this business, we value our relationship with third-party studios. This was an executive officer by the name of Kenichiro Yoshida, and he said that they valued their third-party studio relationships and showed a slide with a bunch of pictures. Deathloop, Final Fantasy 16 were up there. They were timed exclusives. They also had GTA 5 and Final Fantasy 16 up there, and they got bonus content. And then included on this slide was Hogwarts Legacy and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. So I think there will be, at some level, Sony exclusivity for the PlayStation for Hogwarts Legacy. We're thinking it'll probably be in the way of cosmetics and things of that nature. My man Coyote, one of the few people at a 4-month... careful with that difficulty. Can confirm, not the move. Yeah, don't set Jedi Fallen Order on the highest difficulty. Coyote, one of the few people at a tier 4, just a madman. Thank you for hitting 15-month milestone. All I want to know is, out of all the mystical and magical things in the world of Harry Potter, how the frick did they settle for naming their school Hogwarts? Thank you, Coyote. Guys, we are thinking through. You asked him, you'll see if he responds. Okay, Jimmy Page, thank you for doing that. We are considering giving you an incentive to up your tier of membership to force myself and Madam to play certain games on a Friday night. The dilemma we're facing is we can probably do about 4 games a night, and that's only 3 times a month, roughly, depending on the month. So that's approximately 12 games in a month. So we wouldn't want it to be something that a bunch of people upgrade to, and then they have to wait a really, really long time. The other alternative we were thinking is, let's just make it like tier 2, so it is something that you have to upgrade to. Like, we don't want it to be the bottom tier, because like gifted members are coming, and we wouldn't like just any random person to be able to go in and potentially suggest something awful or offensive, and then what if they win the raffle, right? So I'm thinking, and I talked about it with my wife a little bit last night, we think maybe setting it to like the tier 2 and then doing raffles in the Discord. So every week you have a chance to suggest a game and win, and then we have to play it for at least, 30 minutes to an hour on a Friday night. So we are looking into that. We think that would just be a gold mine of hilarity, because you guys could make us play super challenging, hilarious, fun games Tier 2 Ghost Runner 2 game win. Yeah, see, Sven, exactly. Just absolutely absurd games to front, and it doesn't have to be 2-player games or co-op games, because we could take turns. Like, I could try and play, and when I fail, then she could play, and it would be ripe for smack talk and fun and challenges. So we are thinking through that. That'd be another great way to support the channel. Like, hey, get a bunch of people to upgrade to Tier 2 memberships, and then just make more great, entertaining Friday night streams. So we're considering to brainstorm about that. If you've got ideas, let us know what you think. Raffles might be the best way to do it, because it has to be scalable. The problem, the thing that I'm worried about is if we do it and we tell you, like, oh, you can make us play a game without a raffle system, well, you'd upgrade and then there'd be like 25 people in front of you, and you'd be like, I just upgraded and I have to wait 2 months to see him play the game that I suggested. So we think the sweet spot might be like not Tier 1, Tier 2. You got to upgrade, you do, but you can every week have a chance of making us play a game on a Friday night. Maneater making a comeback. There you go. A Way Out was a pretty good co-op game. We just think we're going to run out of co-op games, and I don't want to play A Way Out with my wife. Some prison game with dudes getting shanked and stuff. Nah, I don't think so. I played that with Hilly. I don't need to play it again. It is sad, or to your credit, Sven, that your name came up while planning this feature. Yeah, we were like, I don't know. What are we going to do? We got a guy like Sven out here. Oh, is that a new video? Eugene? Okay, so there's God of War Ragnarok accessibility news, a blog, and a video coming out. We will look at that over on Reforge Radio this afternoon. Oh, I'm so glad we made this change. We can now just snag something breaking and covering it. Oh, I'm very excited. Very excited. Don't forget, this show is the first show of the day. We got a second show. It's going to be about Scorn, that Xbox exclusive horror game. We have an update about the release date from the company themselves, as well as gameplay to look at and analyze. And then we might get back into some V Rising. And so if you're enjoying the show, thanks for being here. We just hit 200 likes. Thank you so much for enjoying the show. If you're interested in Hogwarts Legacy, we'll be playing it and covering it when it comes out. I want to know if you're going to be playing it. So vote in the poll at the top of the chat. We don't have nearly enough votes. We've had a ton of people here this morning and only 300 votes. So cast your vote. Yes or no, will you be playing Hogwarts Legacy? What do you think of the gameplay? What do you think of my theory? Do you think there's PlayStation exclusive treatment coming to this game? I want to know what you think. Loving the challenge, Lono, and I look forward to the content every day. Thank you, Willie. Let's see. Overcooked is awesome if you have the right partner. Right. Marketing for God of War is finally starting. Mick Dio9 says, The Quarry. You and Madam arguing over decision-making in the game while murderers and chasing your NPC would be gold. Yeah, when's that one coming out? The Quarry. Good and frustrating co-op game. Have you ever played Chariot? No. See? This is what I'm talking about, Dan Zatastic. You guys know so many games, and you can upgrade and throw them in the hat every week. Let's say you don't win week 1. No worries. There's always week 2. Let's say you can't watch Friday nights. No worries. You can always watch the VOD. Like, I think it's good value. I think it could be great entertainment, and it could also just, bolster the membership a little bit. Getting a bunch of people to upgrade would feel kind of good. It would, it'd feel a certain kind of way. You had my respect. Now you got my like. Thank you, Last Paladin. Good to see you. Garrett Green says, I'm a Harry Potter nerd, and I'm looking forward to Hogwarts more than God of War Ragnarok. That doesn't surprise me at all. I think this game is a dream come true for fans of Harry Potter. Hogwarts Legacy gameplay is an absolute dream come true for Harry Potter fans. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 Remaster is out, and 2 is coming this year apparently. Both are co-op games. Listen, Doom, become a member and make us play it. We'll turn Friday nights into your show. You guys just make my wife and I play games. We can probably snag 4 games in a night. We'll play your game for 45 minutes to an hour. So be careful with what game you pick. Oh yeah, I screamed at my TV when it was announced. Yo, Naberto says, been busy during radio, but I'm trying to catch up afterwards. Is there a version of having timestamps on the upload? Wanted to catch the Warframe news, but couldn't find it. Yep, we forgot to cover it. I made a mistake, Naberto, and that's my fault. I will cover it today. I am very sorry about that. I will make sure and say that in today's Reforge Radio Open. I made a mistake. Creature put Halo on the thumbnail, so I was like, oh, we need to jump to Halo. So I scrolled in Discord. This is my fault, not his. I scrolled to Halo and was like, oh, let's cover Halo. I scrolled past those and I didn't go back down. It was totally my fault. I just messed up. So I will make sure and cover that today. So far behind on the chapter process. I can do that every night really easily, Creature, while I'm making thumbnails. It will take me no time at all. I'm going to start doing that. You don't have to do that. I'll do that because chapters will help those vids. Going multi-topic, we 100% need to be doing that. We could potentially do that during the show. I could literally have the description of the show open and be like, all right, let's switch to the next one. I'm like, all right, what time is it? Ding, ding, to ding, ding. Type it in. All right, let's jump in. Wouldn't be that hard at all. Would not be that hard at all. Just give me, all you got to do in the description, Creature, is give me the really good keywords listed, and I'll just punch in the timestamps in the description while I'm streaming. I'll be like, okay, next story is Halo Infinite Season 3, and you'll have that in the description. I'm like, what time is it? Okay, 33:03, boom, and I just punch it in. That'll be super easy to do it while we're live. You don't need to do it while we're live, Creature. You just need to put those descriptions in there for me, and I can have it open and just go in there and punch it in every time we move on to a new story. I just need the bullet list. That's all I need, and I'll be golden. And then when the stream is over, it's already chaptered. That's brilliant for all the stuff that we're thinking about. Yeah, Butters. Yeah, exactly. We know. You're already doing it? Beautiful. So Lauren says, I would have bought a Switch only to play Breath of the Wild if my dad didn't happen to buy one for my kid. Then I get caught in prep and never make it back. No. You don't have to do it live. When you do prep, Creature, just bake that into the description, and then I'll throw the timestamps in as I'm streaming. Just bake it into the description, and I'll do it. I think that'll be the best way. Because I don't want you to be having to sit there and watch and do it. It'll be easier for me because I can see the live timestamp in the dashboard. I play Zelda games, Zubair. Been playing them since the first golden cartridge one. That's right. That is exactly right. Hopefully we, let's see. You know what? Yeah, we're going to have to. This is going to have to be, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Older Harry Potter games are still nostalgic, though. I think even still, I have all my discs with the CD key written on them so I wouldn't lose them. This Creature guy is always doing something. He's always doing something. I just got an email for pre-ordering Gotham Knights. Really? Zelda games aren't necessarily for kids, LOL. Okay, we need to let everybody know that Zubair is kidding. It's a meme in our channel to say that Zelda games are for children. Pimp Tastical says, cool shirt. Thank you. My Centipede shirt is from 80s Tees, the 80s video game collection. Use that shirt command in chat if you want to order it and then get a discount. It'll take you to the collection of all the 80s video games, and then use code LONO, L-O-N-O. Use code LONO for 30% off over at 80stees.com. That being said, I absolutely love the format. Super chill and fun to catch up on news that's current. Gives me a taste of what I can look into more if I want. You and Skillup are my go-to now. That's high praise, Noberto. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Your life must be miserable without Zelda in it, says Disordered. Good thing you have your Dark Roast. I repeat, any Zelda fan with a way to play 3DS games but who hasn't played Link Between Worlds, OMG, it's superb and wonderful and perfect. Link Between Worlds is getting a strong endorsement from my brother, and he's a huge Nintendo guy. Historically. Maybe not now, but historically. Lono taking the fun out of inside jokes. Let us troll. No, we are serious. Also, Lono does really hate the Dutch. Attending classes to make your character stronger is pretty cool, kind of like Bully. Yeah, it seems like it's going to have elements of that. Yeah, 2DS or emulation, whatever, play it. Yeah, A Link Between Worlds is getting high endorsement. I wonder if I can play that through... No, they've not done that with Nintendo Online yet. I can play classic Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, but nothing 3DS yet. That'd be amazing to be able to play that on my Switch through Nintendo Online. It's so good, says the Danzatastic. It's a new take on A Link to the Past. Well, Link to the Past is the greatest Zelda game ever created. Don't even bring Ocarina at me. Don't even bring Breath of the Wild at me. Link to the Past is the best. That's the god right there. That's Papa. Like, I know you got the original on Nintendo, okay, but The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past it's deity in my book. I think it's deity. I don't think you can pull it down. I just don't think you can. The picture frame spell he casted makes me think the game will have good replayability. Might have to unlock or learn certain spells, or go back and choose a different house. What if you want to choose Slytherin for your second playthrough, or Ravenclaw? I mean, I don't think anybody will pick Hufflepuff, but to be fair to the to be fair to the other houses, everybody's gonna, 90% of the audience is gonna be picking, either between Slytherin and Gryffindor. I couldn't think of the dadgum name. It's gonna be Gryffindor and Slytherin for like 90%, and then 7 or 8% will pick Ravenclaw, and then there'll be like 2% to pick Hufflepuff. Loney, you got to find a way to check out Link Between Worlds. It's the same world map as Link to the Past. Get the frick out of here. No, it's not. That's cool. Ocarina is my fave. Got to play that Mario Kart Grand Prix. You know what game they need to make a sequel for? Is Super Mario RPG. That's a game they need to make a dadgum sequel for. That's one of the only turn-based games I've ever enjoyed. That and Child of Light. Everything else is, bleh, But that game, man. Oh, yeah. So 2% will misclick. Got it. Kaganeko. Yeah, 2%, 2% will misclick and be like, oh, Hufflepuff, shoot. I'm in that 7 to 8% Ravenclaw. I feel like I could sense that, Talica. I could sense that. You have a Harry Potter tattoo, shoulder or under forearm. Shoulder or under forearm. I got forearm. I can feel it. It's either up here or like here. It's in one of those. It's in one of those locations. That's my guess. We're getting great treatment on browse today. Not a lot of search, which makes sense. There's no real news here, but getting decent suggests off of other Hogwarts videos or God of War videos. We're getting suggests off of that God of War audio video, Eugene. If you guys came here from any of those other videos or locations, hopefully you're enjoying the discussion and the breakdown. Hogwarts Legacy could be getting PlayStation exclusive treatment with cosmetics or early access. It was included in the Sony presentation, which has led me to theorize that is happening. I think that's happening. No lie, I thought about getting a tattoo, but I'm a wimp when it comes to pain. Oh, shoot. Well, okay. So I understand your spirit. It was a good guess still. It still was a good guess. Can I play as He Who Shall Not Be Named? I don't think you can play as Tom Riddle because this takes place later, doesn't it? Isn't this all after Harry Potter is a grandpa? I don't know. When does this take place in the timeline? I love the actor they had for young Tom Riddle. I thought he was just absolutely brilliant. I have a question about a piece of magic. He's like, he's terrifying. He's terrifying. When they go to that memory, the memory that's been tampered, and Tom Riddle is asking about Horcruxes, that kid, why is he not in more stuff? I actually thought he was the actor in Downton Abbey. I thought this is before Tom shows up. Oh, is this a prequel? Oh, well, that makes it a little bit safer. Ooh, that means Tom can show up in one of the games. $5 tip from East Coast Overlord through YouTube Super Chat. Love the show. Don't hate Rowling. Just think Harry Potter is overrated. I prefer sci-fi. PlayStation can keep this one. That's fine. No. Not that one. No, Fuzzy. Wrong one. Not that Tom Riddle. The Tom Riddle in the memory. The Tom Riddle in the memory where he asks about the Horcruxes. I swore that he was what's his name? What's the nasty guy in Downton Abbey? You end up liking him near the end. He's is it Thomas? Is his name Thomas in Downton Abbey? What's his dadgum name? I thought it was the same actor, like all grown up. Downton Abbey. Is it Thomas? Yeah, I thought the guy who plays Thomas Barrow, Mr. Barrow, I thought Mr. Barrow was the young Tom Riddle in that memory because they have like a similar hairstyle. I think the guy who plays Thomas Barrow is just absolutely phenomenal. He is just absolutely brilliant. Who's he played by? Title, family, James Kent. No, that's not him. Richard Ellis. No, dadgummit. Yeah, that's it. That young Tom Riddle barrier. Where is that kid? What is he doing with his career? Because he makes my dadgum skin crawl in that scene. He's so good. Always ask Doe the favor before the small talk. It's more genuine. The other way feels manipulative. Just be honest. Nothing wrong with asking for something. What are you talking about, Zubair? Who are you talking to? Frank Delane. He was in Fear the Walking Dead? No! Was he the main guy in the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead with like the long hair? Was that him? No way. Good for him. I think he's great. Yes, that guy! No, look at him! Look at him. Good for him. That's dope. I thought he was phenomenal in Harry Potter. He had such a small scene, and he just absolutely killed it. He killed it. It was so good. So all English people look the same then? I see how it is. Well, I mean, Valiant. I don't actually think you guys all look the same. Truly, I don't. I mean, well, let's be fair. Your teeth they all looks the same. But other than that, I don't think. I had to hold out. There was you had to know there was a sucker punch coming. You had to know it was coming. I had to stretch that one out. I was really hoping to to drag that one out a little bit on you. If you guys are just tuning in, thanks so much for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying the banter and the discussion. Smash the like button if you're enjoying the show. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and chime in chat. Always love to hear from new people. Take the poll at the top of the chat. Are you going to be getting Hogwarts Legacy? Are you going to be getting it? I'm theorizing today that it's going to get Sony PlayStation exclusive treatment because it was included in a Sony presentation. And we love talking about this game because I actually think it's going to be a surprise hit. Like, I think it's going to surprise people. When's this game coming out? It is slated for the fourth quarter of this year. I believe it's getting bumped to next year, personally. Thanks, won't smile for a month now. I mean, you're British. You wouldn't do that anyway. So what? Just a typical month for you, right, Valiant? Oh, that was too easy. Golly. How much customization do you think we'll get for the Cottage system? I don't know. They just showed it a second ago. Is there's stuff you probably can deduce from the footage. There's stuff you can deduce from this footage, I think. Oh! I didn't realize I was in the scene. I mean, I did. Okay, so what's he doing here? He's conjuration budget cottage, a rustic thatched roof cottage house. I would bet you can upgrade that maybe and make it bigger and better. So it looks like he's got a couple of things going on here. He's got decorative stuff, pumpkins. Then he's got an anvil that he might be able to use for something. Again, that could be purely decorative. He's got a pet. Yeah, they don't show much there. I did the test, and I'm Griff. Oh, you're Gryffindor? Will it be a timed exclusive? If you can't make that your own castle, then I'm out. Info Ragnarok. We will be covering the God of War Ragnarok info that released today on Reforge Radio this afternoon. Yeah, so for me, I think as far as timed exclusivity goes, Macho Man, the most likely outcome is what we just looked at. I think Sony is going to procure customization items. That's what I think. I think that this is where, right here, bam, this is where you're going to see Sony get exclusivity stuff. maybe even a mount, because they showed the griffin, and the broom. That's where I think you're going to see exclusivity show up. It's that to me is the most likely outcome. This is so relaxing. Oh yeah, let's watch that video. I forgot. There's a new video today or yesterday. There's a new it's a Hogwarts channel, I think. There's a Hogwarts Legacy channel, and there is an ASMR video of rainfall with slow camera movement around Hogwarts, around all the areas. So let's get a nice look at all the environments in the game. We'll get a nice little look here for you, and let's get the video controls off. Wait, hang on. Is that an overlay? They have a watermark right here. Here you go. Just some nice new relaxing footage for you. Just a little welcome into the first and ever and also final episode of Hogwarts Legacy ASMR. I want you to imagine yourself floating through the sky and falling fast down onto the land of Hogwarts. It's your first year as a student, and your entire future is ahead of you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding around. I'm kidding around. All of a sudden, my viewership on TikTok's going to skyrocket. All those dadgum ASMR streams, That one guy, man, he opens up Pokemon cards. He's like, puts his hand up in the camera. He's like, thank you for that thing. He's like, man, he's good. He's really, really good. He's good at what he does. He's got a huge following. Freaking huge following. This has to end. Why, are you falling asleep? Was it good? We need to launch a new channel, Reforge ASMR. We actually had an idea. We had an idea that we would do flight sim with relaxing wiki reads, just like flight sim, just like let the plane fly over some historic area. This villa on the coast of Italy is one of the most noble places in the world. Just reading through everything. It's not relaxing. I find that it incites violence. That's a personal problem. Vengeance with a $10 tip through YouTube Super Chat. So for this game suggestion thing, can I suggest a specific level and difficulty? Yep. Exactly, Vengeance. Yeah. If you win the raffle and you're like, as an example, Jedi Fallen Order, and it's the hardest difficulty. Sure, yeah. Keep in mind, we're only going to play for 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to try and go 8 to midnight. That's kind of tough. So we'll probably go 45 minutes each game. If we do 3 games, we could probably do an hour each. It'd be great to squeeze in 4. Maybe get those little indie ones. Star Wars KOTOR remake, PS5 remake, news coming in the next several months. Ooh, can't wait, baby. ASMR of Rageless roasting. Yeah. This guy interviews one ASMR streamer, and look what he's doing. I interviewed 2, thank you very much. I interviewed Aloha Wendy, a good friend of mine, as well as Ruby True. That was like you told the stereotypical guy that does all the movie trailers to do ASMR. Flight sim tours? Yeah. If I was listening to on my big speakers, I'd be tingling right now. Phone speakers saved me. There are some really, really talented ASMR folks on TikTok. They are. I've caught a couple of them live, and I'm like, my gosh, you're talented. I try to follow content that I can. If I open up TikTok, I don't want to get hit in the face with a shaken booty. So I try to follow people so that when I open up the app, I see wholesome content or good content, not all the other stuff that's over there. And man, there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff on that platform. Some talented folks out there. What do you guys think of the sequel theory that people were trotting out for this game? Because this apparently is your 5th year. Sorry, folks on TikTok, I kicked the desk and vibrated the camera. This is apparently the 5th year, is your 5th year student, and we're watching a brand new video that they posted on their YouTube channel, Hogwarts Legacy ASMR Rainfall just slowly showing off different places around the game. Sony Santa Monica has upped the detail in Ragnarok since last year. No way. Throw that in. I'm snagging that. Hang on. I'm throwing that in radio. I got it for later, Eugene. Thank you. Lono starts every ASMR stream with, firstly, make sure you have freshly brewed pot of Rageless Roast, fill in your space with that sweet, balanced acidity aroma. That's right. The sequel idea makes sense, says Sven. Students only go 7 years or so, so year 5, year 6, year 7. Trilogy ends with you graduating. Yeah. So Hogwarts Legacy, does it have a subtitle? Or is it's just Hogwarts Legacy, right? So I wonder would they call the next one Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe they just call it Year 2. I don't know. They might want to give it a different name. You know, Hogwarts Legacy, Hogwarts something, and then Hogwarts graduation. Door open. What else will they find? Yeah, the New York Attorney General. Yeah, I saw that. They're investigating both the Purple Platform and Discord. I don't. That'd be amazing if they have to go through discovery and that becomes public. That'd be amazing if like everything gets exposed. I highly doubt it. Unfortunately, I saw that in my newsfeed last night. Hogwarts Legacy. Insert catchy foreboding title here. Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy. The birth of Tom Riddle. Something like that. Ric Flair, woo, coming in, hitting his 8-month milestone. Thank you so much, Ric Flair, coming on in. If you guys are new to the stream, you can do a membership just like that by clicking join or typing !join in the chat. Here, I'll do it for you. If you're not a member, click that link in chat. For $5 a month, you get a badge and emotes and extra content. We do extra streams on Thursdays. We'll be doing one today. It's your opportunity to kind of get behind the scenes and ask me questions about gaming topics that I don't cover in view of the public. And we greatly enjoy all the things that we get to do with you every single day. And that is one of the things you can do as a member. We are trying to get a ton of members right now. We're trying to hit that goal of 600. So consider jumping in the pool for $5, and you can force my wife to play. Elden Ring. Which one looks better? So the top. Yeah, it does look like they lowered detail on the characters. Yeah. Can't be. Yeah, it looks like they lowered detail on the characters a little bit. It could be that all 3 years are in one game, but I'm making it to year 1 per game makes more sense. You know what they could do, Sane? They could do DLC. They could do DLC and do a year 2, year 3 with DLC. And if they do that, then they could make the sequel something bigger. Like you leave Hogwarts and it's like a bigger and more open game. They could do something like that, possibly. I think the dilemma would be is like once you leave that game, once you leave Hogwarts, I'm saying people might be like, I don't know, like I don't care as much. You know, you're gonna lose that nostalgic pull if you're not actually on the grounds of Hogwarts. You know, if you win everybody with Hogwarts and the school and the grounds and choosing a house, you're going to lose all that if you are suddenly not in those environments. So I don't know. I could see them doing like Sven said, and somebody else suggested it earlier this morning, that it would be a sequel thing. Year 6, year 7 would be game 2, game 3. And then you have a nice condensed trilogy. You graduate in the 3rd game. That's the end. You know, Wizard Law School. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. You become a lawyer. You become a dumpy lawyer. You know, you can't quite go out and have those adventures anymore because it'll hurt your back. You know, and that'd be like the DLC. The DLC for that game. You know, for becoming that. You know, the dumpy lawyer. You have like physical you'd have to go see, like, part of your routines would be like seeing a chiropractor or, physical fitness, things like that. Being told your cholesterol's too high. It'll be that late stage wizarding life. You just have to deal with all those struggles and all those problems, Subtitle and caption blur. We've included options to allow the blurring and background behind subtitles and captions to make them more readable. Is that what's happening in the comparison? I don't know. I always wondered about becoming an Auror. You don't really learn that stuff at Hogwarts, so where do you learn it? You're going to have to explain what that is to me. All right, Harry Potter nerds, what is that? I don't know what that is. Zubair's life story. It's a wizard cop. Oh, an Auror. Defense against the dark arts. I'm going to attempt to penetrate your mind, or whatever he says. I will not pick Hufflepuff, but I will pick my companion to be a Hufflepuff because of pets and stuff, says Sane. So do you get to pick your own companion in this game? That face in Discord is what I want to say. Just that face? It doesn't say anything. It's just an angry face. Are you admitting to having a unibrow as well? Like, is that something that's happening? We're trying to find out where the comparison between 2021 and 22 was coming from. Oh. Where the footage came from. Hey now, let's not... Yeah, Hex, exactly. Maybe the Ministry of Magic teaches us? Yeah, I don't know if they've said. It's not animating. It's just zooming in. I guess it's kind of like the wizard equivalent of being recruited to the FBI or MI6. Yeah. Except Valiant, that if you get recruited to the FBI, it's like a really big achievement. And like when you get recruited to the MI6, it's kind of like it's like playing house, Are you Valiant's like, dude, I'm never showing up ever again. I finally show up. I'm here. I'm being a mod, having presents, being in chat. Just bashing. Just a British bashing. This aggression will not stand. They showed one companion from each house except Ravenclaw, LOL. So I guess you will have to choose the choice to choose whichever one you want. MI6 has James Bond. Checkmate. That's fake. That's fake. Lono woke up on the mean side of the bed this morning. Bullets flying everywhere. That's right. I'll give you James Bond. You need something. We'll give you the Fantasyland James Bond. Press F for Polyjuice. Is it Dumpy, Frumpy, or Dumpy and Frumpy? It's Dumpy. MI6 is actually the CIA. Or an Orer. The rural juror. I hope we can play on the big chessboard from year one. They did show some mini games. What we're watching right now is like an ASMR rainfall video that they put up on their YouTube channel showing all the different environments in the game. It seems like it's going to be just an absolute beautiful game as far as the environments go. My favorite game of my childhood? That I'd have to go with Mario Kart on the Nintendo 64, followed by Goldeneye. I think Mario Kart we had more fun with. Goldeneye got like kind of competitive, kind of sweaty. Me and my siblings all got really good. So if like friends came over and wanted to play, I mean it was a lost cause if we were playing. We did like a big tournament at some guy's house, and it was literally me, my older brother, younger brother, and youngest sister. We were all against each other. We were the final four. And I think Mario Kart was just more fun. Goldeneye just gets sweaty and people get angry and, it was like Killer Instinct, My older brother and his friends got really good at Killer Instinct, and I didn't like it because, I would practice all day with Jago, and then they would just make light work of me. I just wasn't cut out for fighting games. But then Goldeneye, I would kind of flip the script, and like I tended to be one of the better players at Goldeneye. So then what ends up happening is the people that aren't good, they don't want to play against the person that's like really good because they just win every game. So Mario Kart was pretty much universally fun. Battle mode especially, there wasn't one in the group. My brother's in chat. Yeah, the tournament was hilarious. There wasn't anybody in Mario Kart battle mode that like rose to the top every time. But like Killer Instinct and Goldeneye, it was clear that there was one in the group that was always going to win, Big A-hole move to host a tournament and then shut out the top spots in both racing and battle mode. We didn't host the tournament. He did it. It wasn't at our house. Lono always had to play his Odd Job because of size. No, we actually outlawed Odd Job. Odd Job was not allowed. That was a gentleman's rule. You were not allowed to pick Odd Job. The maps became unplayable when everyone knows what they're doing in GoldenEye. Yeah, because you can't move. You cannot move. Somebody gets the rocket in Temple, and they know exactly where to put the rockets, and so you can't do anything. You're just always dead. If you guys are just tuning in, Hogwarts Legacy, we got new footage here, just yesterday released. It is an ASMR rainfall video. The camera just slowly panning through the world that you'll be able to walk around in, whether it's Hogsmeade or Hogwarts Legacy, or I'm trying to read the sign there. I think that says Hog's Head. So there's Hogsmeade, but that might say Hog's Head, and then Hogwarts, obviously. We appreciate you being here. We have a poll at the top of the chat. Let us know, are you going to play this game? And do you think, I theorized in the show open, that this game will get exclusivity contracts with Sony with respect to cosmetics? I don't think they'll get early access, but I do think they will get some of those cosmetics. Hog's Head is in Hogsmeade. Okay, I figured we were in Hogsmeade for this footage right here. I figured. So, and we may get into some V-Rising gameplay today. I forgot when I said that we do have the members only throwdown today where you can ask me AMA questions kind of behind the scenes where nobody else can see. That's like, it's not in view of the public. It can get a little spicy. So consider becoming a member today if you want to be a part of that. Wizards do love their pork. Yeah. Hog's Head is where you drink the butterbeer. Hogwarts Legacy, Hermione's dating adventures. Tapping the C buttons in AIM is literally blink in and out of cover behind a corner. Yeah. Yep. Here's the audio description one. Here's the subtitle one. Yeah, they're showing different versions of the game. Do you think one of those is PS4 and one's PS5, maybe? I don't know. Ooh, we get some lightning going on in this footage here. If you're enjoying the show today and the discussion, usually we are in this scene talking about games. We have a second show scheduled today. We'll be talking about Scorn, the Xbox exclusive. There it is, the first new member of the day. I was like, man, can we get at least one new member? We're trying to get to 600. Yes, I played Source of Madness. It's on our Reforged First Look channel. It's actually really cool. Welcome on in, Legend. Thanks for becoming a member. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You're dope and deserve dope stuff. Enjoy the extra stream this afternoon and Friday night as well. Thank you for being here. We are considering letting you guys force my wife and I to play games on Friday nights. We think that'll be a tier 2 member benefit and that you'll throw your games in Discord and we'll raffle that off. I don't know if we'll have time to do that this week. We may launch that next week. We're still considering the scalability of it. We want it to be a perk that you can enjoy, but we have to consider how many people would have to not get the benefit of the perk if too many people sign up or if too many people want to do it. Thanks, we'll check that after work. Yeah, no problem. We will also have a premiere today over on First Look that'll redirect to Reforge Radio when it's done of the Fury DLC that launched this week. If you've never checked out Fury, be sure to do that. That will be hitting this afternoon. And don't forget, we also have our Reforge Updates channel that should be getting videos today. It's going to get a premiere today about the God of War Ragnarok release. So we continue to hit all of our channels with lots of great consumable content. Reforge Gaming and Reforge Radio, those are our live shows. Reforge First Look and Updates are uploads, depending on what you're looking for. Oh no, I don't think force is the term you should be using. You're forcing us to play games. We're not getting the pick, you are. We will always have a premiere and updates at 3 p.m. There we go. And those will bring people over to Reforge Radio. You ever think of selling coffee mugs with the Coffee Link bundle? We are looking into merch, but I don't want to handle the merch because my CPA literally gave me a dadgum heart attack last night. She gave me a dadgum heart attack. When you sell merch, you got to deal with sales taxes and a sales tax ID and all that, and I don't want to do that. So we will have a merch company handle the merch, but the coffee we will handle. Yeah, so we're looking into that. We will have all the merch handled by a company that it'll all then be purchasable through our website, but we won't be the one that handle it. You know, that's just a freaking headache. Affiliate links to coffee makers or something? I don't know about an affiliate link or anything like that, but let's check the vote here. It's almost a 70-30 split, almost 500 votes. Hogwarts Legacy, will you be playing it? I'm curious what you guys think about this, too. We haven't discussed this side of it. If PlayStation does get exclusive skins, what level of exclusivity does it take to bother you? Are you like, as soon as they get exclusive skins, I'm bothered? Or does it have to go further than that? Like, at what point do you get annoyed by exclusivity? There's timed exclusivity, there's exclusive cosmetics, there's exclusive content, there's early access to many pieces of exclusive content. Like, at what point do you get annoyed, and does it affect your purchase? I'm chipping away at bundles and coffee subscriptions. Give me time, gang. Show me why I should be doing it. LOL, buy coffee. Yeah. Coffee sales have slowed down a little bit. They've slowed down a little bit. You guys got to give us a reason to, you know. We've getting a couple orders a day, and that's good to see. We just restocked all the inventory, so we're kind of like, let's see some of those coffee sales. I'm okay with cosmetics, says Survivor Man Dan. If they get exclusive gameplay stuff, that's where I draw the line. Sane says, getting playable content bothers me. Cody Biscuit says, I would buy a PS5 to purchase this game for my wife. It would be a fun game to sit and explore together when the kids go to bed. How many coffee makers could we possibly buy? I'm pretty sure I only need one. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I need a Coffee Mate affiliate, because the Coffee Mate Italian Sweet Cream is what I always recommend. Hilly says, any exclusives I won't bother. Why pay the same for less? Exclusive game content sucks, says The Last Paladin. Early access can be annoying too. Shervier says, I'm on PlayStation, but I think things being exclusive for a whole year is kind of messed up. Arch Enigma says, I'm not bothered by anything other than playable content. Timed exclusivity is an annoyance, but I'll take that over locked out of game content on one platform. Doomslayer says, actual content permanently exclusive. That's where you draw the line. K Billy says, skins don't bother me. Content like quest zones and etc does. So it sounds like a lot of people are fine until you get to the content line. As soon as you get to the actual exclusive content line, that's where people check out. They're like, no, absolutely not. But content, as long as everybody gets it, if it's just skins, people don't, seem to care. Now, there are other people saying, though, Creature saying exclusivity is BS. Games are expensive to waste money now. Drexen says, the game seems really nice, but honestly, I would like a lot more info, or at least a demo. Especially since nowadays, games just show you the exciting parts, but the rest of the game's not good at all. I actually think Hogwarts Legacy is going to surprise people with depth and breadth. I do. I think it's going to surprise folks. I don't mind exclusivity mostly because I have all the systems, says Skiffy. J. Chris says, I'm okay with cosmetic exclusives, but that's where I draw the line. Anything more I don't agree with. Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Cinnabon Creamer goes well with Rageless Roast as well. We're getting some testimonials in chat for the Rageless Roast. Soon to be under Reforge. Don't wait to order on that because we've got boxes of it right now. That's not happening anytime soon. But Rageless Roast right now, dark roast and a light roast. If you're a coffee drinker and you have never had coffee with balanced acidity before, you should try it out at least once. Buyer beware. A lot of the people that buy our coffee, it's all they end up buying after that. Lots of artists in this channel with all these lines. What does that mean? I mean, older Harry Potter games were pretty solid, says Fuzzy. I've not played any of them. I played the Lego one and got bored immediately. Vengeance says, I hate exclusivity across the board. Cosmetics, content, and most importantly, games. What about first-party exclusives, Vengeance? Any creamer is good with it, says Big Mad Mo. I don't want to be given a release date only to find out my platform of choice isn't coming out until a year later. I don't think that's going to happen, Talica. I don't think timed exclusivity is happening. And if it does, it's only going to be by a day or two. It's only going to be by a day or two. It's not going to be more than that. Paying the same price to get more game, period. As a matter of principle, I don't like preventing completionist players from getting everything, but as a practical matter, I'm good with cosmetic exclusives. Exclusive content is a no. Wabi Sabi says, exclusives are fine because competition and incentive structured to encourage buy into specific platforms. There'll be a Sony demo for this game, right? Oh, has the demo been announced for Sony? Maybe that's part of the exclusive deal. They're going to get a demo. This will be the KOTOR of the Harry Potter world, of the Harry Potter universe, says Fathom Rocker. Exclusivity is fine, says Corey. The publisher pays for the content. They should reap the benefits. Zubair called me Dr. Teenade after my order of the light roast. I'm butthurt and salty. We'll have to rethink my future orders until hazing gets under control. That's good. That was good. That was well written. That was well written, Dr. Teenade. I love when somebody lands the punchline right in the last line. That was very good. There are 2 acceptable additives for coffee: water, bourbon. Put them everywhere. God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Halo, Starfield, all everywhere. Oh, I don't agree with that. I think that murders games. I think the minute you take first-party exclusives and you put them everywhere, I think that you're going to hurt them because they'd have to be developed for multiple platforms, which would require greater bandwidth. I don't agree with that. Zubair says, I did nothing wrong. Wouldn't be surprised if they add the Hogwarts demo in the new PlayStation Plus service. Well, they wouldn't need to put the demo in the PlayStation Plus service because it's a demo. But Sony has said that the PlayStation Plus service, including trials at premium, will not stop companies from doing early access demos or free-to-play weekends. So that's considered a separate entity and a separate funnel of engagement than what you're saying. They should put some very hard-to-find things in Hogwarts for absolute Potterheads. Third-party games do it. Why can't first-party? Third-party games aren't funded by Microsoft and PlayStation. The third-party games are funded by an outside publisher that wants maximum exposure. First-party invests in these companies because they want uniqueness to their platform. The investment's different. And so companies like Sony and Microsoft would have less of an interest in investing because they'd be like, well, the game's going to be everywhere. We don't want to invest as much because we're not going to be as big of a benefactor. You're going to split up the sales, potentially dilute the brand, potentially hurt the game because it's got to be developed for multiple platforms. Like, look at the reports coming from devs about when they make a game for one system, the benefits of doing that, the development advantage that they get. So I don't think it would be good for those games. No, I don't. Like, the strongest games and the games that tend to win the most awards and get the most acclaim, there's a few exceptions, but a lot of the time they're first-party titles. They have to be developed for multiple platforms, but would make more money on release. First-party exclusives benefit the publisher, not the devs. We have heard this from the devs to Sony. No, we've not heard that from the devs at Sony. The devs at Sony are growing. What are you talking about? The devs at Sony have not said that being exclusive hurts them. They have not said that. They're all growing and making their games better. I've not seen a single dev say that. It's a simpler task to develop for one hardware, but not as lucrative. So the growth of Guerrilla and Naughty Dog and Santa Monica and Insomniac, how are they being hurt? They're growing. I don't understand. They're growing, but they have expressed interest to see their games land elsewhere. Okay, but you're ripping that out of context, Arch Enigma. We need to represent that quote accurately. When they said, and I covered this, when the developers begged Sony to allow them to put their games in more places, it was for PC because they wanted the performance. I didn't read anything that talked about begging to have their games put on Xbox. That's not an accurate representation of the quote. It was that we want our games to be on PC. Mainly, it was because of the performance benefits. Because games like God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn were ahead of their time. There is not a first-party developer right now that asked to be put on Xbox or Switch. That's not a thing. Number one, it wouldn't work with the Switch. Number two, I'm going to tell you something right now. That Series S, that thing is a dadgum Trojan horse. We're probably going to have to do a whole episode on that. I'm going to have to do more research, and we're going to have to watch the market influence of it. But I'm telling you right now, the Microsoft Xbox Series S is a problem. It's a problem. Long term. I'm not seeing the difference. Why would the dev care about the game not landing on Xbox? How would that hurt them? Because they would get less money from Sony. The reinvestment into the developers. Sony's invested 17% more in their first-party titles and seen a 19% rise in sales from 2017 to 2022. Do you think that reinvestment, you think that 17% would be well in hand if Sony was investing in something that was not first-party exclusive? No, they would lower investment. They would say, no, if we're not going to be the primary benefactor of these titles, we're not going to give you as much money, subsequently shrinking those companies' budgets and potentially shrinking those companies in size. So no, I don't think first-party Sony developers have a single shred of interest in their game landing on the Microsoft platform because it would bust up the relationship they have with Sony and the reinvestment in the growth. All those trajectories would be disrupted. That's the point I was making. It's better for them because the dev makes it better for them, not because the market would hurt them for it. But okay, so the market might not hurt them for it, but it wouldn't be good for them. I think first-party exclusives are good for the market, personally. I think they're good for the market, and here's why. Game quality has to be at the absolute best because it's an exclusive. I think you allow for... What's the common theme in disappointing AAA titles? What's the common theme? Almost every time. Broad reach, multi-platform, just gigantic game. They can make so much of their money back just in gross sales during the first week from a crazy marketing budget. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Battlefield was profitable, and it's a garbage game. Now, that doesn't mean that every multi-plat game is garbage, but first-party exclusives drives quality up. First-party exclusives drives the quality of games up because you have to compete. I think it's good for the market. It's good for you as a gamer. I think removing first-party exclusives from the equation in the market would be bad for gaming. It would not be good for gaming. It would make you feel better, but it wouldn't be good for gaming. First parties are good for the market only because competition keeps quality in check, not any of that other nonsense. I mean, I think it's all related, Distorted. It's all related. If the quality has to be there, the investment has to be there. If the investment is there, the companies can grow. If the companies can grow, the quality goes up. It's all interrelated. If we're going to be competitive with our first-party titles, our game has to be stellar. Well, if our game's going to be stellar, we need a really healthy budget. And if you're going to give us a healthy budget, we can afford to expand. And if we can afford to expand, we can make a better game. Ding, 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 ding. It's a circle. It's a cycle. Is that starting to make sense now why Sony says that? Because it's a cycle. Our games have got to be award-winning. They got to be the best. And if they're going to be the best, we got to invest. And if we invest, the companies grow. And if the companies grow, the games are better. Like, I think eventually people are going to catch on to that Sony's not blowing smoke. Sony's not blowing smoke. First-party exclusives are good for the market, and they're good for you. You think Starfield's gonna be good or bad in accordance to the market? It's gonna be as good. We don't know how good it's gonna be, but the demand for Starfield to be excellent is because of the market and because of first-party exclusivity. Just because the company grows doesn't mean the quality gets better. I didn't say it does, but it's pretty clear that it commonly does, Mo. Ask any development company about what's the primary cause for game quality going down. It's usually deadlines in relation to bandwidth. What do you think increases bandwidth? Size of the company, growing, expanding, enabling them to hit those deadlines. So bandwidth has a direct correlation to game quality. To say otherwise is foolish. To say otherwise is just completely and utterly foolish. A game company growing in bandwidth will have a direct correlation to game quality. If it doesn't, that's because you had bad project management or you had, bad people in charge. If your game development company is growing in size and getting a bigger budget and your game quality doesn't go up, then you messed up big time somewhere. What if I told you that 500 million buys Halo Infinite? You can only grow so much catering to only PlayStation users, missing out on the good money from the other three main platforms. There's a cap on that growth. Disagree. For one simple reason. 2 letters. There's 2 letters that makes that statement completely void. Distorted. PC. PC, baby. They don't need Xbox. They don't need Switch. They can launch on their massive platform, and then they can land on PC a year to a year and a half later. They don't need Xbox. Not in the least bit. They don't. Now, again, I don't think Sony is against having some of their owned property on other platforms, as we're going to see with Destiny. I don't think they're against it because it's good money. Oh, I need to read that comment in the Morpheus voice. Yeah, what if I told you? Yeah. They're expanding into PC, but not at the expense of quality, hence the PS5 development first, then PC. Yeah, that's why God of War Ragnarok pipelines were improved, because of things they learned bringing God of War 2018 to PC. I don't think first-party exclusives are bad for the market, and I don't think Sony has a cap on growth. They don't. What Distorted said can't be disputed, though. More possible customers is more possible customers. You can say that their business model isn't reliant on that, but more customers is more. But more customers doesn't equal more profit if you have to spend more development time creating those other versions, and game quality goes down, review scores go down, public perception goes down, public perception of PlayStation as a platform goes down. It's not a one-to-one. It wouldn't automatically mean more money. It could damage them. It could damage them long term. You could lose sales on Sony purely based on the fact that it's not special anymore. You could lose sales purely based on the fact that you had to spend development time porting the game to another platform, which is problematic. You'd lose development time to the Xbox Series S memory problems. So you would spend more money, potentially shrinking margins. The extra money you're going to make on Xbox might be potentially lost if you don't get enough sales. And sales could go down because quality could go down. You have to allocate time to other things now. If you do it poorly, it wouldn't work, but if they did it well, that would require greater costs and would potentially shrink the margins that you're saying that they would get. The growth in sales on those platforms might be a wash by the time they spend all of the extra budget. Does that make sense, Zubair? So you make them spend more money. They got to increase their budget. And then all that money they gain on Xbox, what if all that money they gain on Xbox just barely pays for the enhanced budget or the increased budget? At that point, they've now lost. Why? Well, we made a little bit more profit, but we hurt our platform in the process. We've lost an exclusive that's iconic to the platform. For what? For a little bit more money in the grand scheme of things. Does that make sense? Like, you'd have to have an entire team working on that, and that's bandwidth, that's time, that's resources, that's an increased budget. So Guerrilla's spending all this extra time, money, and budget getting the game to run on Xbox, as well as the Series S, which is going to be a problem long-term because of its memory issues that it's running into. So you don't know that the money made on the Xbox platform would be enough to warrant all that extra spending. It might be a complete and utter wash. We didn't make any more money, and we damaged our product in the process. So I don't think so. I think there's greater risk of loss because that's loss of PR, identity, brand. It's loss of a lot of things to potentially make a little bit more money. I don't think it'll ever happen. Now they may do stuff like they did with Destiny. Like, let's imagine that like Sony buys Ubisoft or Sony buys these other companies. They may take established games and franchises and allow them to be in other places. Why? Well, it's already established. You know, Division 3. Let's imagine Sony buys Ubisoft. I bet you Division 3 would be everywhere. It'd be everywhere. You're assuming it would be a little bit more profit. What if it's a lot? What if Elden Ring was PS5 only? Would they be missing out on a lot of money? I didn't assume that it would be a little bit. I said there's risk of it not being enough. I didn't assume it won't work for my argument, Zubair. I'm outlining risk because that's what this would be. This would go through risk assessment, would it not? And the risk is too great. The risk would be we spend all this money doing this and we may not make enough back. And in the process of not making enough back, we are undoubtedly damaging our platform. We are damaging our platform by allowing like God of War Ragnarok to land on other platforms, to land on Xbox. That would be damaging to the PlayStation platform. So that's an automatic loss right out the gate. You're going to have Sony fans upset about that. That's going to make their platform look less unique, less appealing. And there's the risk of not making the money back. So from a risk assessment, I don't think they would ever do it because there's the risk of not making enough money back. Could they? Yes, they could. Would it be worth the trade of what it does to their platform? That would be up to their business strategy and their forward-thinking philosophy. Like, what do we want to do with our platform? I don't think they would ever do it. Risk is too great. Damage to the brand is too great. Profit is potential, but profit's not everything in that realm because you're putting a lot on the table. You're putting a lot on the table for the potential profit. What's your opinion on Hogwarts Legacy releasing on the Switch? I think from what I can see in the gameplay, they've built a game with elasticity of performance. It'll probably run, 1080-30? It'll probably run 1080-30 on the Switch. And it's a brilliant game to land on Nintendo. It's a brilliant game to land on Nintendo. Harry Potter is insanely popular worldwide. Global popularity, like Pokemon. You know what I mean? Who said the Xbox player base is small? I don't think they were saying it's small, but it's smaller than Sony's. So you are going to a smaller pool. You are going to a smaller pool. Oh, you think 720? I think 720 mobile 1080 docked. Well, no, you're probably right. Breath of the Wild. Doesn't Breath of the Wild run 720 docked? No one gives a crap about Microsoft outside the US, and the demographics are completely different. Let's do a full SWOT analysis on this, right? Zubair, you start listing the strengths. Lono can have the weaknesses. I'll have the opportunities. Who wants the threats? That's right. Excuse me. I disagree with the assessment of Xbox users as the only people that want free games. There are plenty of people on Xbox who spend big and want a good experience and go Xbox out of habit. Oh yeah, I don't think that. I don't think Xbox users are wanting free games. I think Microsoft's grooming them to be that way, which is probably a serious danger. I don't think there's like a character flaw. Like, Xbox users are these cannibalistic, freebie, freeloading gamer. No, I don't think that. I don't think that. I think Microsoft is potentially grooming a user base to expect a lot for little, Same as Netflix. I think there's a potential problem there. You know? What time zone are they even talking about? Oh, the side of my foot is itching. You ever get those like real bad side foot itches? Golly, Gemini. I think Microsoft is seeking out those users and trying to get them to buy in, but there are still people that pay for value. Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to appeal to freeloaders. I think what they're doing is they're creating a user base that has expectations that are already growing anyway. I don't know. From where I sit, that's what it looks like to me. They're like looking out on the landscape and saying, you know, this is where things are headed. So we want to be ahead of it. We want to be ahead of this. This is where the industry is headed in this direction. And because they're headed in this direction, we're going to have subscription cloud-based funnel locked in. That's what I think. I think their strategy is 100% based on that. 100% based on that. It's based on where they see the market trending, and not necessarily, I don't think any of it's based on Sony. Yo, good morning, Gritter. Isn't Hogwarts Legacy going to be on Xbox? Thought it was. When did that change? No. I'm not saying it's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I'm saying it might get PlayStation exclusives, plural. There might be exclusive things in Hogwarts Legacy, like cosmetics, skins, things of that nature. That's I'm theorizing that. I theorized that in today's video, along with Avatar and FIFA. They were a part of a presentation where Sony said they really value their third-party relationships. And up on the board, they had Deathloop and Final Fantasy 16, two games that got timed exclusivity. They also had GTA 5 and NBA 2K22, which both had bonus content on the PlayStation. So I think Hogwarts and Avatar are being set up to be potentially getting exclusive content on Sony. That's my prediction. I 100% agree that Netflix and Xbox are grooming consumer expectations that will be harmful to their own industry. Look what happened to Netflix share value. Yeah, Microsoft's got... everybody thinks that I'm a hater, but I'm telling you, everybody thought I was overstating it. You have to look at Netflix as a cautionary tale. You do. I think you have to look at Netflix as a cautionary tale. I don't think you can ignore them and be like, no, none of this frickin' matters. It's totally fine. No. If you're setting up a subscription funnel, if you're setting up a funnel where you're going to be throwing stuff at people, and Microsoft's doing the same thing Netflix did. We keep getting on this every day. Microsoft's doing the same thing Netflix did. They're spending big money. They're scooping up. Think about Netflix spent all that money on original content, right? Microsoft's following the same business model. They're not spending money on original content. They're buying big publishers and developers so they own the content. So that'll be their original content. The next Elder Scrolls, the next Doom, the next Fallout, the next whatever the frick. It'll be theirs. And they'll be able to throw it on Game Pass. And Netflix did that. Netflix tried that business model. They tried it out. They ran out of money. Yeah, Starfield. Starfield's another example. That's Netflix, spending money on original content. That's Microsoft's version of it. I'm going to quickly run upstairs and use the restroom. Guys, do me a favor and consider becoming a member We are really wanting to see about 5 to 6 new members a day. It'll help us hit our monthly goal to make my wife play Elden Ring. We've not sold any coffee yet. We like to have at least a minimum of 2 coffee orders a day. Consider ordering some coffee or consider becoming a member. That supports the stream directly. We almost never run ads. The second show is coming up about Scorn, the release date and gameplay, an update from the company. We will be discussing that in a moment. It's an exclusive horror game coming to Xbox. We will also be doing the members-only throwdown this afternoon. If you're looking for that Thursday throwdown, you want to ask me questions. It's not like, in view of the public, kind of a behind-the-scenes, behind-closed-doors thing. And then we'll be heading over to Reforge Radio this afternoon to talk about the God of War announcements today. More announcements about God of War Ragnarok over on radio this afternoon. All right, I'm going to hit some ads. I'll be right back. We almost never run ads. We only run them when I step away. That's one of the reasons why we push membership so much. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and shut down the TikTok stream. We're getting ready to get into another one where we're just going to be looking at a lot of gameplay, and it just won't work. Okay. Plus, I think about like one One multi-stream a day is enough for my brain. One is enough. Okay. Let me do an announcement in Discord. Let's send the tweets. Da, 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 da. All right, I'm going to give you guys a link in chat just in case redirect doesn't work. This was a good opener. This was a good show opener today. We had a good turnout for Hogwarts because there's nothing going on with Hogwarts, so we kind of just made that one up. Not really. I mean, it was news, but still, there was no announcements. Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of Reforge Gaming talking about Scorn, the game, the exclusive Xbox game. The release date has been addressed on Twitter by the official account, as well as there's gameplay I want to look at with you. It's a strange mashup of gameplay, so I wanted to get reaction from the audience as well, see what they think, see if they're noticing some of the things I'm noticing as well about the Scorn gameplay. If you like these discussions as well as the topics, be sure to hit subscribe. That way you're here for them. Don't forget to check out Reforge Radio, where we cover news. This is more about a single topic. We will be covering the God of War Ragnarok latest news that just got announced today.